Alabama hires a new offensive line coach, and a key recruit shoots way up the charts.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. I want to thank you, everydayers, for joining us every day because you have made Locked On the #1 sports podcast network there is, and that is amazing. Thank you guys so very much. Jimmy, we got a lot to talk about today, not the least of which is Alabama hiring a new offensive line coach who seems to be incredibly qualified. And also, breaking, one of Alabama's recruits shoots into 5-star status, and it may not be who you think it is. But offensive line coach, Alabama is going to hire or has hired by now Adrian Klemm.
Yeah, pretty excited about it. Again, that's a new name for most Alabama fans out there. Certainly a new name for me. There's no way to know every offensive line coach in college and pro football. I love the resume myself. Two things about the resume that stand out to me, Luke, is the quality of coach that's hired him. Bill Belichick and Mike Tomlin, two of the best NFL coaches in this century, frankly, both saw fit to have him lead their offensive lines at one point. That's incredible. And then you're like, well, what about in college? Because that's important. Yeah, Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning is a top 10 coach, period. There's just no doubt. And, so quality coaches have hired him. And then you look at, okay, they hired him. What did he do when he got there? Well, when he worked for Dan Lanning, his offensive line gave up 5 sacks in an entire year. 5. Alabama's given up 5 sacks in a game. Remember that Brody Croyle sack game? I think he got sacked 10 times in one game. And then Klemm gives up 5 sacks in a whole year. When he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Najee Harris rushed for 1,200 yards. When he was at Oregon, they were a top 10 rushing offense. There are things you can point to that he's done. He's been a run game coordinator twice in his career, not just the offensive line coach, but a run game coordinator. What needs to be solved? What are all these hires about? Improving the Alabama run game. Finally, I'll say this. Boy, he's arriving at a good time. I just joked about this a second ago. You don't want to be the assistant coach that got hired by Alabama in 2021, coming off of Nick Saban's greatest team of all time. What exactly are you going to do to improve the situation when you're brought in 2021? And Alabama's coming off a year in which they were the best team Nick Saban ever coached. Now's a good time.
They have Najee Harris.
Now's a good time to come in. In terms of the run game was so bad last year, I think Klemm, whether deserved or not, is going to get a lot of credit when Alabama's run game is better. And it's almost certainly going to be better because how can it not be? If it gets worse, he's going to get a lot of blame. Obviously, there'll be a lot of blaming going on. But no, I think it is going to be better. And Klemm, deserved or not, will get some of the credit. This is a great time to show up because what he's going to be measured against is pretty low because fans are going to be looking at that run game number.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And but again, it's not like, it seems like we're already trying to soften a blow or something here, but he is infinitely qualified. He coached under Bill Belichick. He's been at Oregon, as you mentioned. He has signed 5 stars. He's known as a very good recruiter. He has been at UCLA. He's been, again, at Oregon and USC and with the Patriots. And he was drafted himself back in 2000, I think it was. He's 49 years old, so relatively young, younger than us.
I think he won 3 Super Bowls as a player on those Patriots teams. He was a Patriot offensive lineman on some of those Tom Brady Super Bowls.
And that's why I always was hoping somebody like Robert Horry would end up back on Alabama's basketball staff. They just go, well, what can you tell me? And he just does this, and they're like rings everywhere. It looks like Liberace married Elton John. But which I guess isn't too far fetched.
Yeah, that could have happened. I'm Googling now to see if that actually happened.
So I think it's a good hire. I really do. And I'm happy with it. It's not who we thought it was going to be, but he and Courtney Morgan also have a previous relationship. That probably played a role in this as well.
And here's another connection. Adrian Klemm's son played for Kalen DeBoer at Washington, so they knew each other that way as well. Like again, it's one of the funny, there's an opening and then fans jump in with, oh, there's an offensive line opening, and fans of Alabama jump in with the names they know. They're like, well, what about Sam Pittman? And it's understandable. Sam Pittman, infinitely qualified, great guy. Wouldn't it be fun to have him on the staff? But that's who we know as fans at Alabama. But these coaches have these large, we call them Rolodexes in the old days. Now it's your contacts list on your cell phone. Their contacts list on their cell phones goes way, way, way beyond what we know as coaches. They have a lot of former associates. That's one thing. But, Klemm, he played for June Jones at Hawaii. And that's before a lot of y'all that are listening to the show, that's before y'all's time. But June Jones was a pass game innovator. He threw it a lot before everybody was throwing it a lot, virtually an every down type passer. Klemm was his left tackle at Hawaii. And you got to know, when you play in college, your coach is so influential in how you feel about how you feel about how you coach. You coach how you were coached. And the point being, Klemm's going to show up knowing a heck of a lot about pass protection, because that's what he did as a left tackle at June Jones offense in Hawaii. That's what he did. And then he goes and plays for Belichick in the NFL. And no one was, particularly at that time, no one was more detail oriented than Bill Belichick. I think this guy is a great combination of all that stuff, and has a track record as a recruiter. And let's not de-emphasize that. So this really was a really good hire. I know the one shot people are taking, he was just a defensive analyst at USC, and what explain that? Well, okay. When he left the Patriots, he had a health thing, and he was out of football for a brief period of time with a health thing, apparently. Now, what the details, it doesn't matter what the details are. He was just out of football for a while, had to get back in somewhere. And the fact of the matter is, someone like Lincoln Riley saw, like, wow, this dude is from LA. This is home to him. And I'm getting this bonus support staff guy. Do we need to go through the litany of people that were on Nick Saban's support staff at one time that were great football coaches? Like, for instance, a guy like Sark. Somebody looking, did somebody at some point go, God, Sark's an offensive analyst at Alabama. We're going to hire that guy. Yeah, you're going to hire that guy. So I don't look at it like it's a negative at all. I think it's just a result of him having to be out of football, dealing with the health thing. That's the story.
Don't love the health thing, but that's okay. I mean, I just and I'm going back to the Sam Pittman stuff. I think you're absolutely right. And who's to say? I mean, Sam Pittman's been a head coach for a little bit now. I mean, people act like there's no ego at all involved, and that if you're a head coach, you go right back to being an offensive line coach and just, here we go, I'm super happy. I mean, my bet is Sam Pittman's going to need to take a year or two and get reacclimated and reset expectations himself, and then maybe take a role like that. I mean, but it's really hard, and it's got to be tough for somebody in football when you go, okay, you're just going to go from the head coach, and we thought you were so bad that we fired you, and now we're just going to hire you as an offensive line coach in the same conference. I mean, that's going to look a little weird.
Alabama did the same thing. I insist this is what Alabama in 2021, when I said it was a bad year to come in, I think it was 21, when Alabama hired Doug Marrone to be the offensive line coach, and he was just coming off being the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Alabama that was a big mistake. Not because Doug Marrone has no idea how to coach an offensive line. That's crazy. I don't know that anybody's got a resume like that guy when it comes to coaching the offensive line. But he did not do a good job. The offensive line was not good in the brief time he was here. And in retrospect, it was like, what were we getting out of this guy? It's completely okay to be not yourself after you lose one of the 32 biggest jobs in the world at what you do, and now you're back not only being an assistant, but being an assistant in college. He just wanted to be with his pal Bill O'Brien. They're very close, and Alabama's got a really big name. I'm just saying, like Luke makes a great point about how when you're the head coach, being an assistant right away after you got fired, you're not always hiring a guy in the right head place. But Sam Pittman got paid $9.3 million to leave Arkansas. $9.3 million. He opened up a restaurant in Hot Springs. He's 64 years old. If I'm Sam Pittman, the only time I get near a football field anymore is when I'm sitting in the stands with a really tall, cold beer, enjoying watching football. But I ain't getting down there in the ditches again, getting yelled at by the boss, having your guard miss 5 assignments in a row. That sort of stuff. I'm just staying away from all that.
And when your quarterback throws an interception, it's your fault.
It's your fault.
Yeah. Stuff like that. I'm with you on that. We're going to talk a little Mazda right now. Man, we got something exciting tomorrow. There's going to be like another person doing the live read or something from Mazda. But for now, it's me. Lucky you. This is Mazda's moving the game forward for those who show there's more to the score than what's on the screen. Look, I'm going to go back to, I keep doing it because I've been doing it, is Charles Bediako. He is setting the standard. He is paving the way for change, and Mazda has always done that themselves. But Charles Bediako's moments Saturday night, and hopefully his moments tonight, remind us of what it really takes to raise the bar. It's that extra work off the court, dialing in every detail, giving it that extra fire, that grit, that I never quit. And he never quit because he went pro and he's coming back. He's like, I can do college again. Never quit, never give up. We put that same passion to every model. Highlights make the reel. What it took to get there makes it count. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. I believe in you. Jimmy does not, but I do.
Boy, we went from that Jimmy Stein guarantee to the opposite pretty quick. And if you're
I'm
not
trying to
if you're not
out.
doing the Mazda live read and someone else is, and I don't believe that I'm doing the live read, that's going to be fascinating.
It is. I've already got the videos already put on our little thing over here. It's going to be weird. I hope I remember to do it. That's the other problem.
I'm intrigued. I hope it's Bediako.
In a Mazda with the sunroof open and his head's poking out.
Yeah. And the Mazda I owned, Bediako ain't fitting in that thing. Had a little sports car Mazda. It was cool.
So I'm throwing a bit of a curveball. I'd already put the little things up there that we were going to talk about. But what has happened since then is Rivals has updated their 5 stars. And they're not done with it as of this recording. But EJ Crowell is a 5-star at number 19. That's a no-brainer. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. Somebody who I didn't know was going to be a 5-star. Actually, a couple of them.
Jaira Edwards. If you said, who's the second 5-star, I would have guessed Jaira Edwards.
And he still may be. They're only up to number 13 as we're doing this countdown. But I'm going to give a couple other little tidbits. First of all,
I know that this guy you're about to talk about is the only new 5-star. I do know that.
Corey Barber from LSU is a 5-star. I mean, he's going to LSU. He's from Clay Chalkville, actually at Spain Part 2, but from the state of Alabama. And it makes me sick. We didn't probably go after him a little more. He has moved up to 5-star status. I think that's very cool. Sincere Johnson.
Me and you went nuts over Corey Barber highlight film, and me and you did. I don't think Alabama did, but me and you did.
Sincere Johnson, who amazing player. We thought Alabama had a shot back when he was a lowly 3-star, and he just couldn't turn down.
We comped him to Reuben Foster. Yeah, we
exactly.
comped him to Reuben Foster. Mm-hmm.
And then number 24, Jett Thamala.
Yeah.
He has moved up to 5-star status. He's one of the highest rated quarterbacks in the country, the number 3 quarterback for that matter. So what that means is at 6'4", 200 pounds, he joins another 5-star in Keelan Russell, of course. And, of course, there's also Austin Mack, who is a very good player. And Taden Kava or Kava Taden. I can't remember, or Taden or
Kava.
Kava Taden. I know. I like screwing with names. But I thought that's incredible. I mean, this is a guy who it made a move in the rankings, very well deserved. Kudos to rivals for doing this. And the other thing I noticed on this new list is Ohio State has loaded up on 5 stars. We still have 11 to go. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5 stars. And we have still yet to go to a couple more. So pretty incredible class for Ohio State once again. Kudos to them. Now, Jimmy, what do you think about Jett Thamala?
I think that, as I said when it happened, I think we're going to miss Nick Sheridan, and not because that's why Alabama landed Jett Thamala. I think Alabama landed Jett Thamala because of Kalen DeBoer, Courtney Morgan, Ryan Grubb, Alabama's success at putting out NFL quarterbacks. But my point is Nick Sheridan was sort of in charge of that quarterback evaluation process. They're certainly running the first level of it, and I think Nick Sheridan, he's the one. Keelan Russell was a 3-star when Nick Sheridan said, "This is my guy." Jett Thamala was committed to Iowa State, and Nick Sheridan said, "This is my guy." And then they both in 5 stars. I'm telling you, Nick Sheridan is a good football coach. He's going to be missed. He's going to do a good job for Pat Fitzgerald at Michigan State, and I think he's going to have a heck of a career. I was always a big Nick Sheridan fan. I picked him out early on, and that DeBoer staff is like, this is a guy I like, and got to I don't know if it would say got to know him, but covering Alabama practices, being there, being around Nick Sheridan, always felt like he was the smartest guy in the room. Another coach, another coach I've liked from day one that I think is a really bright guy is Brian Ellis, who's replacing Nick Sheridan. I think Brian Ellis is a really bright guy, and we're in good hands there. But Nick Sheridan did a great job evaluating quarterbacks, and that's hard to do. Ask the NFL. It's hard to do. And it looks to me like he just has a gift for it.
Yeah, he is definitely the quarterback recruiting, evaluating whisperer. It's a lot of whispering.
That's a lot.
Jimmy, go ahead and jump into, if another Alabama 5-star comes up, I'll say it. But go ahead and jump into your roster countdown, because you got 2 running backs coming up.
2 running backs, yeah, and we'll talk about them together. 46 on the roster ranking is A.K. Deere, and 45 is Kevin Riley. A.K., he's got a ton of talent. It's clear he has a ton of talent. But, this ranking is based on what you've done as a player at Alabama. It's not based on your high school rank. This ranking about what have you done at Alabama. And so far, the answer is not much. Now, Kevin Riley's played quite a bit, and that's why he's 1 spot ahead of A.K. Deere, because he's been playing quite a bit. There's been flashes, but overall, Kevin Riley was one of the main running backs on a running attack that just wasn't that great. And the running backs did have some to do with that. I saw a chart recently. I wish I could just throw it up on the screen, but we just don't have that sort of technology here. But I saw a chart somewhere. You'll just have to trust me on this. And the chart was, okay, it's basically evaluating running backs as to where they're contacted. What college team created the most open space for their running backs to where the initial contact was furthest downfield? Obviously, if the running back's getting contact in the backfield, that's not good, right? But if your first physical contact with the player is 4 or 5 yards down the field, then your offensive line's doing a great job, right? So that's what this particular chart was evaluating. Do you know Alabama's and NC State's were the same? Yeah, let that sink in. Alabama and NC State's number were the same, yet Hollywood Smothers was the best back in the ACC, and Alabama's run game is so bad, we're firing everybody, right? That's why I'm saying some of this is on the backs. Some of it is on the backs, not just the offensive line. Hollywood Smothers' offensive line giving him the same room that Alabama's gave their guys, and Hollywood Smothers is now making, per reports, $78 billion at Texas. So I'm saying that some of this is on the back. That's why I'm saying Daniel Hill and Kevin Riley, who are the returning backs from last year, it's just got to get better. It's got to get better because they both showed flashes of being really good. Kevin Riley's one of the fastest guys on the team. I don't think his longest run from scrimmage was 20 yards, was it? I mean, and he's one of the fastest guys on the whole football team. So it's got to get better. The good news is I think it can. The ability is there. The talent's there. Still a young player. Has got to get better. AK, he just hasn't played much. I feel that's because of typical of freshmen MAs, which are missed assignments. It can be, it's a long list of things. Running back's not, inside linebacker, assignment wise, but it is a thing in terms of missed assignments. Who to block, how to block, who to block as a pass game. What pass route do I run? Which hole, which gap do I press? You got to know all that stuff. And when running backs have too much in their head, they're trying to think their way through what they're supposed to be doing. One of the first things they do, they don't protect the football because they're thinking too much instead of playing. Then they're not protecting the ball. That's typical of why a lot of young backs don't play a lot. Well, the good news is AK Deer won't be so young. I think on the Luke, on the post-spring ranking, AK Deer may be the biggest riser. Wouldn't that be great news? I'm almost hoping that that's the case. And if this ranking was a prediction as to how things are going to play out, I think AK Deer would be much higher than where I have him here, and he would be up in the 20s even, or higher than that. And let's see if the spring plays out that way. But for right now, I'm keeping Kevin Riley just ahead of AK Deer because this is a ranking on what you've done as a college football player. And we've seen Kevin Riley do some good things, and we just haven't seen enough of AK.
Time for some TurboTax talk. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life. What are you doing? This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax full service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert, start to finish, without the stress or the guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employed forms and work to get you a deduction. It's a huge time saver and gives real peace of mind knowing an expert is handling it. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just 150 smacks all in. What are you kidding? Go get it. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. Jimmy Stein. So, Charles Bediako, his TRO has been extended and another 10 days, which means he should be playing tonight at 6 o'clock against Missouri, where Alabama's a 10.5-point favorite, and also should be playing Sunday against Florida, which is interesting because Todd Golden very famously said, we'll beat them with or without Charles Bediako, and he should have been game planning for Auburn because Auburn went into Gainesville and beat them for the first time since 1996. Which does suck because I think Florida is not going to lose 2 home games in a row, and so I'm worried about that part. However,
Sunday or Saturday?
That's Sunday at like either noon or 1. Yeah,
it's Sunday,
and
not Saturday.
It's on ABC. Yeah.
Huh. I don't know how that had escaped my attention because I'm pretty good about this stuff, but
so
changes my Saturday plans and Sunday plans.
Yeah, changes everything. So Bediako will be playing tonight again, and I'm down with it. And it sounds like Aiden Holloway will be playing tonight. Sounds like Amari Allen will not be playing tonight. It is his birthday, so happy birthday, Amari Allen.
19?
But I'm sorry?
19? Do we know?
I mean, I don't know. I should have found out.
Okay.
I should have found out. Thanks for putting me on the spot like that. Thanks for. I'm like Mo Sizlak.
Exactly how old our entire roster is.
I'm like Mo Sizlak when that kid called him ugly when he opened up his restaurant. He said, "Thank you for taking away my dignity like that." But anyway, So game against Missouri. I mean, must win. I mean, you hate to say anything's a must win. You can't lose your third straight home game against Missouri when you're 10.5-point favorite. You just can't do it. So,
I'm surprised we're a favorite to that extent. I mean, Missouri's ahead of us in the SEC standings.
Yeah, but with Holloway coming back, I mean, look, let's be real. And Tennessee fans will not agree. Auburn fans won't agree. If we had Amari Allen and Aiden Holloway, I think we win Saturday night. Last Saturday.
100%.
I mean, they're your first. I mean, your second and third leading scorers, man. It's a big deal. So
if we played Arizona, Arizona's the number one team, right? And I saw somebody, a noted college basketball observer said last night, I can't imagine Arizona ever losing a basketball game again. They're just going to win every game.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to play Arizona if their second and third leading scorers are out. Let's
100%.
Let's arrange right now for Alabama to play Arizona early in the NCAA tournament on a neutral court with their second and third leading scorers out. Let's see how it goes. And I just say that as a way to say, of course, it's a big deal when your second and third leading scorers can't play. Of course it is.
Yeah, take my chances. By the way, I watched some of Arizona last night. They are still ridiculously good, and I wish we had gotten Braden Berries, who I know Alabama was in on. Anywho,
Jaden Bradley sticking around, not bad.
What do you think? Yeah, Jaden Bradley was awesome last night. What do you think about this Bediako thing as a lawyer? First of all, the NCAA has asked the judge to recuse himself.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm the judge, I'm like, no.
This came up a few times in my career, actually, and about, because, I did a lot of domestic stuff and there's high emotions and, every now and then, very rarely, you'd have a client that would say, I know, and explain to me why the judge that's hearing the case would be biased because, Mobile's not LA. I mean, it's also not Mayberry. I mean, but the point being, I mean, the judge can know people around town and know people involved in the case to a degree. And every now and then I would get how can we get a different judge? How can we get a different judge? I don't want this judge. Here's the thing about that. This was my thinking as a lawyer, and I'm not speaking in the Bediako case, but I think given my thinking, it will help. My thinking was always this. I don't want to file a First of all, this isn't going to be my only case in front of this judge ever. I've got 30 different cases in front of this judge. So the last thing I want to do is get on his or her bad side by accusing them. Think of this. You're telling the judge, we don't trust you to do your job. We don't trust you to be non-biased.
We don't think you can be honest.
Be fair. We don't think you can be honest or fair. We don't think you can apply the law in this case. So I was always saying, I remember telling clients I would use this line. Ironically, I use it to describe the blitz often in football. I would say, look, if you're going to attack the castle, if that's the plan, we're going to attack the castle, you better slay the dragon. You better slay the dragon. What I mean by that is, if we're going to tell the judge that we don't think can be fair and honest in this case, we better freaking win the motion. Because what happens when we don't? I would be very uncomfortable telling the judge, I don't trust you, judge. And the judge will, well, too bad, I'm staying in the case. And now he stays in the case and that much. So what I'd say about the NCAA telling the judge, hey, you're too biased for Alabama here. We want you out. Well, they better hope he makes the decision to get out of the case. And by the way, the majority of judges in the state of Alabama, the majority went to law school at University of Alabama. Now, they're not all football donors, and I don't know all the details. I think they say this guy's Crimson Tide Foundation, which is a big deal. That's like above Red Elephant Club in terms of support of the program. I don't know what the details are. I honestly haven't read them, but I'm just saying that motion to asking a judge to recuse himself to me was always a really big deal, and I never filed one in my career. I talked all of my clients out of it. There would have been cases where I would have done it, obviously, but it never rose to that level where I ever did it. I was just always uncomfortable with it.
I'll say this, that for the NCAA to cry foul and be like, oh my God, what an abuse of power. Nobody abused power more than the NCAA forever. It was just, well, it's that way because we say it's that way. That's the way it is. And we're going to hammer you for Antonio Langham signing a cocktail napkin. We're going to hammer you because we used Phil Fulmer as a witness who was a secret witness. And that's what we're going to do. So cry me a river. What goes around comes around, and it sucks. And I'm with you. Look, if the NCAA came to all the coaches right now, said, here's the deal, guys, right now, from this point forward and the rest of the season, you can't play any Euro pros. You can't play any G Leaguers. Dink Pate, who is rumored to be headed to Kentucky, he can't come back. Nothing. I'm on board. Luke's on board.
And
but until you
go ahead. No, finish.
I'm just saying, you have these arbitrary BS rules, and you've been trying to lay down the law and act like the king of all colleges forever. Well, you kind of stepped on your ding ding. I'm sorry.
And let me ask you this, and this is why I think I think it's common with people that they feel this way. But let me ask you, like we're doing voir dire in a case, Luke. You're true or false under oath. You're an Alabama sports fan, correct? True.
I plead the fifth, but yes.
Okay. And let's say an Alabama player, a current one. Let's say it's Amari Allen. It's his birthday. Let's pick him. Let's pick on him. It's his birthday. Let's say Amari Allen is accused of a crime, and he is going to sit on trial in Tuscaloosa. Can you, Luke, do you think you could sit on the jury and deliberate and be fair in the proceedings? Do you think you could?
I also plead the fifth and the sixth. I don't know if it even applies, but yeah, I mean, look, if I'm an
most
actual,
people think they can.
If I'm a judge and I take my profession seriously, I do believe I would do the best I could do. Would there be some subliminal biases? You bet your ass there would be.
I would think that might be the case, but I'm saying I think I could. I think most people listening that are all Alabama fans, except those that y'all that hate listen, most of the Alabama fans listening, I think, feel like they could be fair if they sat in a jury and heard a case against an Alabama player. Now, we would all want, you might want the guy to be not guilty, but evidence is the evidence, right? So I think that most judges, even in situations like this, would still do their job and apply. The judge's job is to apply the facts to the law and issue a ruling. And I think most judges can do that, even in situations where it may appear they're biased.
Well, because the judge is an Alabama fan and Alabama donor, obviously, it doesn't mean his ruling is automatically wrong.
No,
that's another way to look at it.
No, that's exactly
because if you're going to use common sense, and yes, if it were another school, I'd be laughing at it too. So I get it. But at the same time, I would also have to say, I don't care who it is. Hey, this is BS the way they're arbitrarily do this, and the fact that we have Euro pros. And I had somebody else tell me, well, the guy at Auburn, Jokic or whatever his name is, well, see, he went pro in Euro because they don't have colleges to go play at. Okay, I'm real sorry they don't. But that sucks.
He was paid to play professional basketball.
And not only that, guess what? Everybody's paid to play now. So don't give me. And another thing, hey, look, you have guys that are playing right now that are 24, 25 years old. That's stupid. I don't know how old Bediako is. He may be 23 in his own right. I think that's stupid.
Was 23. Yeah, I don't like older guys playing, although sometimes, good example, our current kicker coming in, he's 25. But one thing about him is he never went to college. So his clock never started until last year he went to Marshall. So he didn't enroll at college at 24. A lot of people go straight to the military, and they're in the military and they do their enlisted service and they get out of the military, then they go to college. Those people should be allowed to play college sports, in my opinion. But do I like college sports filled with men in their mid and late 20s? And in some cases, you'll watch game day, and then there's some dude I think there's some dude playing at a Division III school that's like in his 50s, and I'm not kidding. And he's not, not great. But
I hear what you're saying about the military. I hear what you're saying about all that. But again, it's so funny. The same people who are like, yeah, he went to the military, so give him a break, or he got hurt 4 years in a row, so he should get 4 more years kind of thing. Those are the same people saying, decisions have consequences with Charles Bediako. You decided to go into the military. Okay, that's great. And there's a lot of benefits to that. And I applaud you as somebody who probably would never survive a week in the military. So I applaud you. I think you're awesome. But what you do is you give up your right to play college football, in my opinion.
No,
I'm just saying,
I
look at it like we should have a rule that if your birthday is June 1st if your birthday is June 1st and you're going to be 23 before that, you can't play anymore. Or, the math's not working in my head. I'm not figuring it out, but you know what I mean? Like if you're going to be 23 before a certain time, you can't play, but until that time. So, or 24, make it whatever you want. But this has been going back to Chris Winkie, who was 27, 28 years old when he won the dead gum Heisman. And the more I think about that, I'm like, that was so BS, because they're like, well, he didn't play pro football. He played pro baseball. Well, he still got pro training, and so that should count for something.
Man, professional athlete playing at the time with so-called amateurs. One final point I make, and it relates to Bediako. Look, Jamarian Latham is applying for a 7th year to play for a 7th year. He's probably going to get that waiver. I mean, that's the expectation, and that's fine. But I'll say this: I don't like it. I don't like that Latham's getting a 7th year and at his age is still playing college football. I don't like it. I don't think it should be. I don't think anyone in his situation should be awarded it. But they do award it. They do award it, and because they give it to other guys, they need to give it to our guy because they give 100%. It to everybody else. And that's why I think you got to give Latham the thing. If it was up to me, none of them would be doing it. To me, you enroll and you've got 5 years to play your 4. Only in extreme cases should you be given an extra time. Like, for instance, the Trey Sanders car wreck. Trey Sanders, that case. Okay, give him an extra. He had to miss a whole year of football recovering from a terrible car accident that has nothing to do with football. And that guy should get an extra year. But if you just got hurt playing football, it should not count. You shouldn't get a whole waiver in that unless there's just some extreme, the doctors committed malpractice and trying to get you back and it set you back a whole year. You'd have to dream up scenarios which I'll be on board with it. But again, Bediako feel the same way. I don't think you should be playing college sports. But if you're letting the European pros play, then Bediako should play too.
The easy answer, and again, it's Occam's razor, right? I mean, you have 5 years to play, and you can play all 5. But if you get hurt for 4 of them, I'm really sorry. I keep hearing this about Charles Bediako. I'm really sorry. Your decision has a consequence. Well, life happens is what people are saying. Life happens sometimes. Sometimes you get in a car wreck. Sometimes you get hurt. Sometimes things happen. And it changes everything. Life doesn't happen in a vacuum. You don't get that extra time back. That's the way it is. I'm with you on what I'm hearing you because I'm on your side with, like, as long as it's happening, my team's going to do it too. But I think if everybody got together and said, let's do this, no exceptions. You have 5 years to play, and you can play all 5 of them. You can play every dead gum one of them. But the minute you go pro, the minute you submit your name, you're done. There's no more, let's get a pro evaluation and see. Nope. If we're going to have consequences, let's have them. I'm down with it. So, all right, that's going to do it for today's pod. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.